Hi everyone, welcome back to my precious garden. First of all, I want to apologize for all the noise in the background because there's lots of work being done in my street and all around it, so we have to do with that. And now back to my garden. So for those of you who don't know me yet, I'm French, living in France, in the southwest of France, which is an equivalent to the USDA Zone 9A. So we had a very rough summer, like most of the summers now, and we're having very nice temperatures now. We've had lots of rain, the nights are getting cooler, so yeah, it's autumn. So earlier in the month, I've showed you a few plants that I was putting in the ground, and today is the 25th of September, and I'm gonna show you what is in bloom, how the plants that I just added this month are doing, and yeah, maybe a few pollinators or anything interesting in the garden at this time of year. There's just a butterfly in front of me. I'm gonna try and show you. It's a small one and flying too much, so I won't be able to show it to you. I don't know if you can see anything. I can't zoom in with this phone. On another note, this is the result of my late summer growing. So all nice seedlings. Here you have Digitalis, here Agastaki that was offered to me, the seeds, wallflower, nothing on the Delphinium yet. This had been sown a bit later on. This is a salvia I love, it's called Salvia viridi, and I really need to transfer them because they're too crowded. Here there's a Matiola, so I think this is wallflower too. This is veggies. This veggie has been loved by my cat, only this one. And here we have very little sign of growth on the Honesty, but the Caffeicreme digitalis, no, this one is growing. I wonder if this one is supposed to be the same. And this one is a primula called Candelabra that has the seeds have been given to me. So yeah, let's get back to the garden because I wanted to use the sun in the right position to show you the roses in this part of the garden that are really happy that the hot summer is gone. So let's start with this beauty. So this beauty is called Gabriel Oak. It has been flowering for a few days, but the weather wasn't cooperative with me, so today is going to be the day. It is so nice. To give you an idea of the size, just bear in mind that this, like this one and a few other ones, has been planted last autumn. So this is still a baby. They start with a deep red bud, and progressively it goes to deep pink and fade a bit, mostly on the side, as you can see. It's not cup shaped, it's more like completely open, and you can see some yellow in the center. So this is a David Austin rose, and just to remind you, this one is called Gabriel Oak. And nearby we have a new one, the one from last year, still a David Austin. Sorry for the noise. And this one is Emma Bridgewater. So here you have an example of a bud. So it's red, but not as deep as the other one, I believe. And when this one first opened, it was really red. It wasn't like this during summer. It was lighter in color, but now that we're in autumn, it's starting to get more bright colors. And see, the more it opens and the more the color fades to this antique lilac. And this one has been on the bush for a few days now, so even with the rain and everything, it's still there. I have another bud there and babies coming, so they're really like in their second spring comes autumn. And on the other side, I'm glad that at this end of September I have all this color, because at the beginning of the month it was a bit less. The roses didn't came back so nice yet. So this one is called Penelope Lively. It has been there for a bit longer, and I decided, like all the other plants, around mid-September to stop deadheading them. This is an experiment. I don't think that I'm gonna do the same thing every year. I just want to see which one is able to produce rose hips, and is mid-September early enough, or should I start before? And I'm also gonna have a look at which one is able to have to be producing rose hips and at the same time push for new blooms, because I know some roses can do this, so we'll see. So on this one, as you can see, we have lots of spent blooms, but I'm also having buds and new growth. Not that much of new growth, but yeah, you can see them. So I will continue to have a few blooms. This nearby is Nia Bevan. First year, not doing that good. We'll see if this end of September, October, I see a bud there. We'll see how it goes, and next year we'll see also. But I have quite some dead parts on the base, so I will have to clean that up later on. Here is a rose that was supposed to be Olivia Rose Austin. Sadly it isn't, but it has really nice flowers. I really think this one is Strawberry Hill. I have another Strawberry Hill against this post there. So it looks quite similar, and on the bright side, David Austin decided that yeah, this one is really isn't Olivia Rose, so they're gonna send me another one in November. On this good note, they also decided that another rose that I have in the back is really not doing well, as I thought since the beginning, and this one is Princess Alexandra of Kent, and I'm gonna show you how thin the canes are. And I almost had, I can't say I had 0 blooms, but really not that much. It's doing poorly, and so at the same time in November they're gonna send me another one. So that's one of the good sides of ordering David Austin roses on their website. So here we are, and you can have an idea of the size, of the thickness or lack of thickness of the stems. It's really a poor rose, and even this rose, which is from Meillon, I believe, that has been planted, can't remember, I think it was beginning of spring, here has been doing much better than this one that was already there. So just the good side to remember, to remind yourself, is if you have the possibility, order the David Austin roses from their website, especially if you're in the UK or something, because I know that the ones in the US, the things are being done a bit differently. But yeah, I've just seen something very cute. See, here is where I feed my birds. Well, not mine, but you know what I mean. And I'm feeding them sunflower seeds. And look who's growing inside my Cleome. So that's one thing I quite like. And you can sow sunflowers if you're in the same zone as me quite late in the season, and you'll still have blooms. So that's one good thing. Talking about sunflowers, I thought this day would never happen, but here we have one that is about to bloom, and it's called Vanilla Ice. It has been very difficult to grow, but this one I'm quite sure, fingers crossed, that I'll have blooms, and not just one, 2, 3, and maybe 4, 5, 6. So can't wait to see how it looks. I'll try to do a photo post here on YouTube so you can see how it looks. And nearby here we have an aubergine, but this one is a funny one. It produces aubergines eggplants that have the shape of an egg and the color of an egg, and the size also. It still has blooms. It has produced one for the moment, but I'm hopeful. We'll see if our autumn fall isn't getting too cold too quickly. Maybe I'll have more. So in my garden, I need to remind you, or just tell you if you knew, that I had a terrible summer because I had lots of spider mites, and also at the same time powdery mildew. So normally spider mites, you get them when the weather is very dry. So how to combat them? You add moisture. But when you have powdery mildew, normally it's because it's too humid. So if you add more moisture, it's gonna amplify the powdery mildew problem. So it has been very tough. I almost didn't have any dahlia bloom, and I was really counting on them. So the lesson from that is, don't count on only one type of flowering plant, because you never know. So maybe plant a dahlia, and under the dahlia plant another kind of plant that you know loves heat or loves humidity or something, just to be sure that you'll have some flowers if you love flowers like I do. But the good side is that now that this horrible summer is gone, the dahlias are waking up. So I did something that I wouldn't recommend, but all the foliage that you see here and here was completely devastated. So it didn't make sense to leave it on the plant. So I thought, I don't care, I'm gonna take all this diseased foliage out, and we'll see if dahlias can cope with that and maybe produce more. And look at this, that's what they did. So they have lots of blooms coming. I'm gonna turn the phone because it's too complicated. Yeah, that's better. Look at these beauties. So this one must have been munched on. I'm gonna show you this. It's just so stunning. This variety is called Pineland Princess. It is very productive if it's not battling with spider mites. At the minute, it's battling with powdery mildew. Can you see there, there, but mostly doing good, and it has been raining, so this wasn't helping. So just before the big rains, I'm really sorry about the noises. So before the rain, I've put something I made myself on the foliage. It was water plus a part of oil and a part of how do you call that? I'm gonna put the name here. And you're not supposed to do this more than once a week. And then it rained everything. So now that it's gonna calm down on the rain, I'm gonna do that again, and hopefully this won't be too bad. I also wanted to tell you something, because that's what I was hopeful during the summer, but it's not a good idea. There's a kind of ladybird that is yellow, that is supposed to do good with powdery mildew because it eats this fungi. But the downside is this ladybird doesn't stay just on this foliage. It also goes on nice healthy foliage, and what does it bring with it? The fungi. So it helps spread it. At the same time, it eats it. So yeah, don't count on the ladybird on this subject. It's not like the red ladybird that helps you with aphids. This one is really, really good. So we're gonna stay a bit on the dahlia side. So here I have one pink. I don't know if you can see it. And on the other side I'm supposed to have another variety of pink one, but really it does look like exactly the same. It is really productive, quite upright. And this one I had multiple tubers because it's an old one, and I have one in the back, and it's just starting to flower, and I am so happy it does in the bad conditions I have there. And I'm just gonna show you how cute it looks. So what do you think? Isn't she lovely? And nearby I have very late cosmos. This one hasn't flowered yet, I believe, but it's just about to do it. Okay, this is just a nice spider. And this little one that I didn't move out is flowering, little ones, so that's cute. And look at this. So this one I believe didn't flower during the summer, but I think this one has white blooms. Gonna check if I have the name. So no, I don't have the name for this white gladioli, but this is gonna be a nice addition to the blooms in this period. And here is my crepe myrtle. This one is called Berlingot Menthe. I'm gonna put the name because, you know, French for English people. And yeah, in my region, they're bothering me with a noise. In my region, lots of them are having trouble with powdery mildew. I don't know if you can see, but it really did flower. It was nice, and it's starting the autumn stage. Nearby we have a plumbago that is finishing its season too. This one is in a pot, so it still has a few blooms here and there, but it's mostly done. I didn't go to the trouble of like deadheading like this. I don't know if it helps for this type of plant. If you have any experience regarding this, please put it in the comment section. So nearby, I think you've seen, I have this salvia. It's like the hot lips, but in pink. So the thing with this type of salvia, the hot lips variety, is depending, I think, on the time of the season, the temperatures and everything. You can have either the Peking white, the pink, or the white. And the usual ones that everyone knows is the one that is red. So you would have red and white, or red or white on the plant. That is funny. So sadly, at this time of a month, this rose, it's the same on both sides. It's the Pilgrim. It's not in bloom. It has been blooming quite good for its first season in the ground. I'm really proud of it, and so I'm trying to train it. As you can see, I've put some twine to make the plant turn like this. This one I will need to attach it here and make the top part go on the other side. This is to promote lateral growth. Sorry, I'm having a look at everything that is happening. Don't mind the bird poop, please. And yeah, I'm gonna show you on another rose. It promotes lateral growth, so this means more blooms. And what do we want? More blooms. So now I'm on the other side, and I wanted to show you that I've added lately too, but I guess because of the self-seeding I'll have more earlier next season. I've added Ipomea, and look at this variety, and I'm glad they're still open at this time of day. Look at how cute they are. I'm sorry I'm being bitten by all the mosquitoes. We're having quite a lot this year, but see how on both sides I have them, and they are so cute. And in case you wonder why I'm leaving the sunflower heads, is that it's because it's good for wildlife. I was thinking about mostly birds, but look at these insects. They're just really happy being there inside, comfy, so I'm leaving them. Another option, if you really don't like how it looks like this in your garden, you can cut the head off and put it somewhere in a dry area so that the birds and all the wildlife can benefit from it. Nearby, it's a bit too late here, we had sedum blooms. I think now you call them Hypoteletium. And you had Allium millennium here, but it's done, and I think I'm gonna move them to more protected, shaded areas. And I've seen a video yesterday that was saying that other varieties of summer alliums are doing better and other are blooming later. So about these summer flowering alliums, it could be an idea to have multiple varieties if you want to extend the bloom period. Just have a look at this beauty. So this one is, of course, another David Austin rose. This one is called Graham Thomas. So I've learned recently that you don't say Graham, what I was saying. You say Graham, and there's differences, I guess, between how they say it in UK and how they say it in the US. So just keep that in mind if you don't think I pronounce it like how you do in your country. So to give you an idea, it's a quite good size. And remember also that I have a very bad sense of smell, and this one I can smell it, so it must mean something on how good it is. And when it's quite open, you can see the center, and that's good for pollinators if you have this that is a concern for you. And this one, it's the first year I've added this because it really doesn't want to stay small. Even, see, I've cut it back in winter just there, so it's like not even 1 feet is 30 centimeters, so it's just above 1 feet, I guess. And look at the canes. And before I've done this, there was a cane going so far this way, it broke. And the year before, so now I'm just gonna keep this nicely put. And I know some people don't like that when you have rain you get these little pink signs on the petals, but I really think it's cute, so I don't mind. So here we have the Gabriel Oak I showed you first, and just behind we have a Desdemona, and look at all this new growth. And that's a little Desdemona bloom, and I'm gonna have more. And yeah, here I have a butterfly bush, but I don't know why this year the foliage wasn't looking very healthy. The new one is looking good, but the first one was not good. And this is a Leucanthemum, oxeye daisies, and I've cut it a long time ago, and she offered me, sorry, a new bloom. Nearby, this dahlia didn't flower yet. Let me check which one it is. It's Princess Nadine. So I'm really looking forward to how it looks, but the foliage had lots of trouble. This is a surprise one, and this too, I'm not sure which one it is. This one might be another Pineland Princess, we'll see. But yeah, I can see some powdery mildew, and here I have another dahlia that I'm really waiting for. This one is called Sincerity. It flowered for the first time last year and it was gorgeous, but it still didn't flower yet, and it stayed in the ground. This one I had this one wasn't staked, so see what happens when you don't stake. So that's one thing, but the worst of all, I'm so sorry for it, is this one. See, I show you everything. This one is looking so sorry for itself, and this one is called Céline Yvonne. I really like the dark stems like this, but really it didn't like it. It's not in the best place, I know. It gets quite some shade, but also, you see, can get some sun. So I thought it would be okay there, but I might try, if the tubers isn't too damaged underneath, I will try and maybe pot it up next year. And here is one that had trouble with powdery mildew, but is looking much nicer now. It's one that I divided the tubers. I don't find it anymore. It's called Tropic in Black, and it has the kind with an open center, looking really good. And here we have a little flower, and I forgot the name of this one. This one is really tiny. Normally they're supposed to be bigger. I'll put the name there if I can remember. And behind it is a kind of salvia that flowers only in autumn. It's the pineapple one, at least that's how we call it in French. La sauge ananas. Ananas means pineapple. So we'll see. I can see some new growth. So just so you know, it flowers red, so it's really not for everyone. This poor dahlia didn't do anything. This one is the one called Yeah, it's called Dahlia Islander. And I had another one that I planted on the side yard, and it did flower before getting all the spider mites and powdery mildew. It's like dinner plate flowers, very nice, quite bright. I wonder if it's like red or pink. It's in between. And like with the Pineland Princess, I took most of the foliage out, and now it's reflashing the foliage, and so hope is still there. Also, I'm not really sure about why it wasn't a big year for penstemons. It wasn't flowering as much as it did last year. I thought, yeah, this one I transplanted it, so maybe, but even the old ones that I didn't move, they didn't do great. Here we have the seven sunflower tree, also known in Latin as Heptacodium. This variety is the Tian Shan because I did a mistake back then. 1 year ago, I thought I was buying the Temple of Bloom. I didn't. This one is supposed to be a bit bigger. So it did grow well. I think there was a damage. I'm not sure if it was the sunburnt or something. Maybe spider mites too, because this looks a bit like spider mite damage. And so it's a shrub tree that has 4 season interest. Nice foliage that makes me think of a peach foliage, as you can see, like this. And then in the end of summer, it flowers white, these little white flowers that are supposed to be really good for pollinators. As you can see, I had new growth, so on the new growth, these ones are gonna bloom. So I have like 2 times blooms. And the even better, when the blooms are spent, first they don't look good, but quickly they turn into nice pink bracts, deep pink. And these are gonna stay on the shrub for weeks. Isn't this so nice? And then in winter it will lose all the foliage, it's deciduous, and then you will be able to enjoy the bark, which is exfoliating. It peels like this. Can you see? So yeah, 4 seasons of interest, and so this one is supposed to go to 3-4 meters. So this one is doing well, whereas here I have an amelanchier, also called serviceberry, and it didn't do that well. I know this area of the garden isn't very easy for the plants because it's not it is very compact. It's not easy for the plants. The only one doing great is the strawberry one, Arbutus unido, I think. And I think I believe the variety there is called Rose Lily. And the strawberry plant, the strawberry bush, isn't deciduous, so it keeps its foliage during the winter. So it's a nice thing to have in the garden. And I forgot to tell you, but this mess and this mess is because I took out the 2 old lavender bushes that I had in the garden. I was sad to take them out, but it's something I needed to do. This one, because when I planted the lavender, the garden didn't look like this at all. So since then, I decided to create secret gardens. So there's this arch at the entrance of one. So this one goes like this. And the lavender was just like there when I wanted something more circular. So that was one. And the second one, I think when I bought the lavenders a few years ago, I didn't know how to care, how to trim them, and now I know. So when you don't prune them regularly, the base gets very woody and the base can be taller and taller, and that's what you don't want. I mean, aesthetically, the plant is no problem, but aesthetically it's not the best look. And there were also big bushes, so what I've done is I bought two small ones. I'm not gonna place them in the same areas, but just to give you an idea, they're supposed to stay more compact. Here I have one. This one is called Anna, supposed to get 50 by 50, which isn't the smallest one. And I have another one. Let's see. So I'm back here and I have the other one, and this one is called Richard Gray. And I'm still gonna have one bloom. So I've cut them back to keep them nice and tidy. That's what we want. This is not the lavender. This is from the fuchsia that I have here that has been all fall during all summer, didn't bloom at all. Look at this poor thing. And now that they've been that the spider mites, I don't know why, spider mites might have finished their cycle or something, but now look at all of these beauties. So yeah, same thing with the other one. It's a shame I don't have the time to show you everything, otherwise my video would be much too long, but I wanted to show you the roses. Looking like this, it's not easy to recognize which one it is, because the blooms there have been there for days and days and days, braving the winds, the rains and everything. And this one, sorry, mosquito, this one is Boscobel. Doesn't this get more lovely than this? It can't. Look at this. This is so cute. So for people who don't know Boscobel, which is another David Austin one, it starts more on the coral side. And look, here we have a flower bud. And it starts like a coral salmon pink. It is gorgeous, and then it fades to beautiful pink and stays like this for days. I am just in love with this plant. It had a difficult start of the season. The foliage got diseased by something, I don't know what, but now look at all the healthy foliage it has. I don't know if it will push new growth though. There's new growth there, and so new promising buds, but I'm not sure it has the energy to put much more. But I'm really happy to have them on the video to enjoy later on. And because I'm nearby, just another view on those dahlias. So this one is supposed to be called Haptid Frumbo, something like that. Look at the center there. And on the right side, I have another beauty. The shrub isn't very neat and tidy. That's not how it wants to be. This is Abraham Darby, and I need to talk about it because of this. And this is very highly scented too. It has another bloom there, and lots of them are coming. So yeah, that's how it looks when it's closed. So I really like it, even though it has a very special way of growing. Nearby we have the poet's wife. So these are old blooms that have seen the rain, have been there for a few days now, but they're still pretty. And here you have one that is just about to open, and a flower bud. It's its first year and it's doing quite good for a first year compared to Nibeven. Here we have Septodile. I took a long flowering stem inside before the rain and it was so cute. It's not flowering as much as I want yet, but I can see more coming. Here we have my beautiful fig tree that gave me so many figs, and now we're at the end of the season and the birds are taking their part in there, so I don't know if I'll get a few more, but that's that. September is also the time for Japanese anemones to shine. So they start like this, a beautiful little ball, and then you have these beauties, and oops, sorry, the bee. The underside can be another color. You have them in lilac, you have them in whites. I'm gonna show you another one that I have. Just be aware, depending on where you live and how moist is your soil, because that is really important. This plant loves moisture, so if it's in the ground and your soil is moist, be prepared for it to take the area over. I'm just saying, it happened to me. So these ones are in a pot. I have some that are struggling because they're not in a moist area, and so I'm happy. I'm just giving them water and the flower there, for example. And so I think in my garden I prefer them to struggle a bit, because when they're happy, they're a bit too happy. Happy View, the hydrangea, this one is Diamantino, I believe. And this one made something fun. All this had bloomed, and then a long time later this one came out. So this one is still fresh, as you can see, while all of the bush is looking more like how it should be at this time of the year. Nearby we have a dahlia. This one was the one that I intended to plant where the pink one is there, to make a contrast with the pink roses there. So this one is yellow and is supposed to have the same shape. And here we have the dahlia breakout. These didn't flower till very late. This one I only had one bloom that broke because long stems, and still looking okay back then. At this time of year, bees are starting to get tired, so they just enjoy the time left on blooms. I need to talk about asters. That's exactly the period in which they blooms. So this one is from last year. I believe it's called, which one it is? Yeah, this one. It's called Neron, Novi Belgiae, and it should have been staked. It would benefit from being staked. So for me and for you next year, look at how cute it is. And see, we can see some signs of spider mites. I don't know if you can see it there, but it's like all around these stems there is kind of a web, and usually you have signs like this in the middle, and so yeah, I should try and get rid of as much as I can, because they just ruin every plant I have. So yeah, spider mites, they don't belong on my plants. And on the opposite side, look at this. This is supposed to be an annual called Angelonia or Angelonia, and it blooms non-stop. So this has been a discovery for me this year and will be part of my garden next year for sure. So I'm trying to do quick because there's so much more to say, but this lantana has only started flowering because it's in a pot and it has been hidden by this plant, which is still not flowering. But yeah, I think I'm gonna move it in the ground so it will do better next year. And here is an Escallonia. This one is called Pink L. Once it bloomed, I deadheaded the blooms, and now I'm getting a few new blooms. The first time this bush was completely covered, and these blooms are really liked by pollinators, so that's one thing. And yeah, in the previous video I've planted this Pennisetum that is doing good, and to plant it, it necessitated me to move this geum. It has been divided and replanted, and as you can see, it's just very happy where it is. So that's one. I can hear a small bird somewhere, and the sound is like it's calling its parents or something, but it's I don't know, we're end of September, so that's weird. And oh, it just said something when I was talking. Anyway, so yeah, the first part of the video I was talking about the dahlia, and then I had no more room on my phone, so it cut. So yeah, this one I need to cut it too. But I have flower buds, and just there I have another Desdemona, and that's one thing I wanted to show you. See, it has a very huge cane going, and I didn't take the time to do what is called pegging, which means finding a way to make it stay more horizontal or even going down to the ground. And the idea is the same then with climbers, is, you see, once it gets to a certain angle, it produces side shoots. All these side shoots are gonna bloom. So I could have maybe put a stake, you know, somewhere like this and tied it to it, and all of this would have been with new shoots. Could still be time for me in zone 9A, so we'll see. I think I'm gonna stop the video here, and I'm gonna show you the side yard and the front yard in another video, because this one is way too long. So I haven't been able to show you this beautiful clematis or this salvia there, but yeah, we have to stop at a moment and that's now. So in case you're not going to watch the other video at the same time, I hope you enjoyed this video and that you're going to be able to enjoy some time in your garden soon. Bye! See you in the next one.